Welcome to the Open Book Podcast. I'm Krystel.
I'm Steph.
And I'm Bree. And together we're your hosts, bringing you all things books, deep dives, theory spirals, and never-ending TBRs.
Every week we're cracking open new reads, revisiting old favourites, and spiralling down rabbit holes of fan theories, character analysis, and chaotic book talk.
Whether you're here for the romance, the heartbreak, the plot twists, trope lists, or the unhinged debates about who we die for or rank higher,
there's always room for you in our book club.
So grab your coffee, your annotated copy, and get comfy.
Because this is the Open Book Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tommen Talk with Bree, Krystel, and Steph, and we are back with a part 3 of our thoughts and theories because they just tend to keep going. If you haven't watched our other 2 videos, we did part 1 and part 2. Part 1 around like the relationships and dynamics and like the vibes, the timeline, and then part 2 we kind of tackled, I guess, 2004 up until around 2005, and now we're kind of in June 2005 moving into 2006. So again, these are thoughts, theories. They could change tomorrow if we get new snippets. They could change this afternoon if we think about something new, but we just wanted to kind of put them all in one spot, kind of talk through our ideas, and have fun with it. So let's get into it. Just a refresh. This is the bot timeline from 2004 to 2006. Obviously, releasing 10 ended in April 2004, so we're going to most likely pick up from there and kind of get us through to 2006 in bot 7, and obviously bots 8 with Gibbsy and Claire, more so 2006. So just a little refresh there. I mean, you can have a little look to, I guess, refresh your memory. So we finished off talking about Johnny's camping trip. I think we kind of talked a bit about, obviously there's some sort of like tension between all the characters. Everyone's mad. The question is, what is it? Is it, miscommunication? Most likely. Is it like situations that have come to light? I don't think we mentioned like the other, we spoke about it in the relationship thing around Feely and Liz potentially being like a thing, and whether that did come out prior to camping and that's why he was mad. That could also be it. We talked about her medications. We talked about her spiraling as well. So over summer, we know that Hugh is in a mood over summer. We know Liz is at Feely's farm. Feely is spiraling, which means he's probably getting drunk and doing things he shouldn't be. So it's kind of like, the question is like, when does that come out? Like we think like if Patrick and Liz were a thing, potentially it would be more 2005, 2004. I mean, there is a chance for it to be 2005 though as well, because I mean, you just kind of don't really know. Like we said, like a lot of these playlists are still active, so it's hard to be like, it's definitely not happening because like they're still active. Whether that kind of changed with the whole love triangle situation potentially, but there's just a lot of them. Like to be like,
and they're all active. Like,
Yeah.
why are they active?
So these ones that I put on here are all active, and so I just thought it's just a bit weird that these lines are still active. Like, personally, I would feel so bad for Hugh if this is the case. Like, I actually will cry for him. Because yeah.
But
Like,
I know Chloe, and if it does happen, I know she's gonna make it like understandable for everybody. Like, I think she'll make it so none of her characters are irredeemable. Like, I don't know how. I have no idea how she'll do it, but
Yeah.
like if she did do it,
it will
like,
make sense.
yeah.
Like, not when we're reading it. I don't even think
No.
I think it'll, because I also feel like it's something that like won't, like it'll be hidden for a little bit. Like it'll be like, oh no, we can't say anything. Like if they do get together, like, so it won't necessarily all come out in the one go. But
And also, like, we would only be getting it from Liz's point of view. And
Yeah.
so I think that also would play a role in, like, how is she, like, during that time period when she's telling or expressing what happened, because we know, like, a lot of times she is off her medication. So is she, like, reliable of a narrator in that time period, too? So we won't see Patrick's side if it happens until we get his story.
yeah. So just putting that in there. I mean, it's still potential. I think it's like, I mean, it's going to cause drama and messiness, which, we're all for over trauma. So, I mean, give it to me. But yeah, I think over summer, there's got to be like a reason as to like why Hugh's in a mood over summer. Like, obviously, we talked about how him and Liz were like reconnecting prior to Johnny's camping, and then something's obviously happened which caused them to now pull away again. Like, what is that something? Is it Pierce? Is it Feely? We know we have the whole like, is it like, you think I'm Feely or Pierce, like they might want you, but I fucking love you snippet. And to me, I'm like, well, that kind of just means he thinks that something's going on with Feely. Like, so is it like he thinks something's going on or something has actually happened and that's kind of carried into summer? We know Liz is hanging out at the farm as well. So I mean, from the other people's point of views, it also looks like something's going on with Feely and Liz, and that's potential. We know that Hugh has Katie's back over summer, so obviously something's happened between Feely and Katie as well for them to do the same thing. So it's kind of like, I think we were talking about how, like, with the whole, like, they're in the shielding phase, but why are they staying it for so long? Like, maybe things have happened in between when they decided, like, after, I want to say, Dublin, around that April period, that they were going to shield, that things have happened to keep them in the shield, like, keep them in that kind of weird dynamic where they're still scared to go back to their person. Maybe Feely did something, we know he went on a date with Casey. Like, maybe Feely did something, Katie feels hurt again. Like, maybe Liz did something because she's spiraling. Like, there's potential for them, like, more things. I think what was it, Elaine was saying, like, a list of crimes, like, more things that they've done in between, like, them trying to get back together that kind of keeps pushing them away. So I think, like, summer is going to be like that weird, like, push and pull back and forth. Like, they want to go back, but like this just happened and now I'm heartbroken again. Like, so there's definitely got to be some sort of confrontation to lead us into a mood over summer for Hugh. Then we have biddies for Johnny. So that is around July, when Johnny, I guess before Johnny gets back. Again, that is the only scene we do see Hugh and Katie kissing. And when I say kissing, it's tearing his lips away from her. Personally, I think Katie may have initiated that, because Feely and Liz do sit in the booth together. So it's kind of like that, I don't know, jealousy, retaliation, kind of, they're together. Let's show them we're together. Really just, messiness. Because like he clearly pulls away as well. And I'd be very interested to see like Hugh's point of view of him pulling away from Katie in those little intimate moments. Then obviously Johnny's back for beach day, which there isn't a lot like from like if you read, I guess, the like Shannon and Johnny's point of view, like there's not a lot besides they're all just standing at a barbecue around each other. So I'm interested to see like what's the dynamic of them all standing around the barbecue, like because they're all kind of like annoyed at each other still, or like what's happening there. And then obviously we have the extra scene, which is the Spizzico restaurant scene, which is when Johnny actually asks like if Hugh is on the outs with Katie. And like to me, like that kind of like if Johnny's starting to clock something, like that's incredible because that boy doesn't clock anything. So if he's already starting to see that there's something going on with Katie, obviously they're in this weird shielding dynamic at this stage, and he's already picking up like it's not working, and that's the shield not working. So I'm very interested to see what happens there. But I think summer is like a wild card because it's a massive gap in the books. Like there's not a lot besides a few like triangle playlists, a few messy love triangle situations. So it kind of feels like there's a bit of a vibe going on, whether that's the present, I guess, action or whether it's like a lead up from 2004. But it kind of seems like Feely, Liz, Katie, and Hugh are more than just that. This is where the square gets messy, if that makes sense.
And then we get to like beach camping, which is August 27th. So we know that before they get to the beach, Liz is at the pool. Claire and Hugh are also there. Hugh wasn't really supposed to work, but he shows up and he's working there. And they notice the cut on Liz's thigh. Hugh basically tells Claire that he will talk to her and do something about it. And then we have a bunch of playlists that indicate there is a pool storeroom scene where they talk, or at least they talk at some point post this, because Claire explains that Hugh is like all pissy and Katie's like, he's been like this since he picked her up. And Hugh even says at beach camping, like, this is a Feely conversation. Like, there's a reason me and Liz steer clear from each other. We also know later on in the night, Hugh is very, very drunk. It's specified how drunk he is at this point. So that's very interesting to me, because I think when like we highlight those like key details on his like intoxication, I feel like that is something you should look at. We think maybe there is a close call intimate scene between him and Liz, but again, if you've been following for a while, you know we don't really think he's going to do something all the way when he is intoxicated, at least the first time. So maybe some type of close, intimate call, like maybe they're about to kiss or something, but we don't think it's going to be anything like crazy. But there is switching tents, and we do have a playlist with Katie and Feely in a tent. And these are kind of like all the playlists kind of surrounding it. We are kind of like leaning towards, at least, or correct me if I'm wrong, but we're leaning towards that the swimming pool storeroom in this scene, like right before beach camping. We don't know if that's actually going to be intimate. We think that there might be multiple pool storeroom scenes, because Liz actually does have a gym membership, and like she's been going since she was a child in R10, to the pool. So this isn't like a new thing for her. This is something she's been doing for her mental health for a long time. Like, he was the one that introduced her to do this. So there could be a completely separate pool storeroom scene with that Cherry playlist, but is probably going to be a conversation, at least at the pool or in a pool storeroom, post Claire leaving and before beach camping. It could be a heated debate. Maybe that's why Liz brings Pierce to beach camping, because that's really the only time we see Pierce in the summer. Like, he's not really around at all other than that part. And I don't know. I feel like even at beach camping, like, they don't seem to be like on good terms. Like, they're fighting. Like, I don't know. Like, they're away for a little bit too. Like, it says like they were in the tent. Were they really? It's really hard to say because we don't have that POV. But yeah, then we have like some of like the cliff edge. And like, Hugh's very drunk. He's like stumbling. He's like tucking himself back into his pants because he was going to the bathroom. We have Hugh going to Liz at the back to school camping trip. So it's a very weird vibe, honestly, because we have Hugh pissed at Liz when he first arrives. And then we have like these like going back to you playlist sirens, send me on my way. It's almost like maybe when he's drunk, he's like around Liz at some point, and like, is it actually as mad as he thought he was? I don't know. But it seems like they have some type of conversation, or something happens between them at beach camping. I don't know if it's very intimate, but maybe it's like again, what I said, like a close call. But we do have the switching bunkmates camping, and the Hugh smirking with when Pierce catches him with Liz. It does have triple X, but then again, sometimes Chloe uses this like the same song for different scenes, so that might not even be like the camping switching tent scene. It's very hard to say, but we put them together because it is the same song, and Pierce is there, so potential. And then again, Feely, Katie in the tent during the beach camping trip before school starts. Why are Feely and Katie in it? I don't know how we did the switching tents, Shanaz. Like, I don't understand, like, how did no one notice? Like, if Hugh and Katie were supposed to share a tent, like, how did Feely get into the picture of being in the tent with Katie? Like, where did Pierce sleep? I'm just picturing him like sleeping on the beach somewhere, like irrelevant. I don't know. I think there's not a lot on, like, there's not that many snippets on beach camping, which to me feels very intentional. Like, I feel like if there's not a lot of playlists, that means there's something bigger happening. And I don't think Chloe wants us to know what that is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think there'll be more pool storeroom scenes. Like, we know that like Hugh is driving her home from the pool like after school all the time. So like, I mean, it's bound to happen. Force proximity,
So then we have the coffee shop scene, which we have that actual like excerpt that was posted on the Instagram. And that takes place on October 4th. So our thoughts are kind of, Billy calls Hugh. Hugh shows up and is like, "Where's my girl?" He's able to kind of calm her down, and he stays with Liz. At this point, we do think that Feely knows about her bipolar diagnosis, at least because they've gotten so close kind of over summer. And we do think that unfortunately Mark does come back prior to this weekend, which causes this ultimate, like, pretty severe spiral. And possibly Liz stops taking her medication because of Mark's return. And it is possible that this snippet of Hugh talking to Feely saying like stress triggers her mania kind of happens around that time, especially if Feely does know and he's calling Hugh for help, that they have to like share some type of common understanding about what's currently going on with her.
also think like Hugh would probably not want to leave her like when she's in the States. So he's probably gonna, if it's post the coffee shop scene, it's probably later in the evening or at least early afternoon. I don't think he's gonna like go home. Like I feel like he's gonna want to stay with her and like spend time with her if she's like this audibly upset. I don't even know, like she just seems like so fearful here. Like very
Mhm.
fearful.
Yeah. And Feely's like, no idea what
And
he's
the fact
doing.
that she's saying like the monster is coming for me, the scary
Yeah.
lady, like what
And
does she
maybe she
know by
had like a run.
October too?
She might have even had a run in with the scary lady. It's so hard to say because we have no scary lady playlist. There's no hinting at anything. So the fact that she's bringing up both the monster and the scary lady, could there have been two things that like led to this, whole thing? It's so hard to say, but something happened to lead her to be so fearful, in my
Mm.
opinion.
Yeah. It's just a
Yeah,
very
and I do
specific
think
spiral. Yeah.
based
Yeah.
on the timeline, there's the game night and everybody is accounted for prior to this. And usually unfortunately, when Chloe gives a place for every single other individual, um, and is very clear that they're doing things and one person is not accounted for, it means that one person is probably going to have something not great be like happening. So that's why we do think that Mark comes back, and that's what kind of is the catalyst to this, like the fight with Hugh, or the fight with Gibbs, and then that just really catapults her into that kind of like manic state.
Mm. Yeah. And like that would be triggering as well. Like obviously if she's
Yeah.
seen Gibbsy that day, because every time she
Yeah.
sees Gibbsy, she thinks of Mark. So like if that weekend he did come back, whether it was Friday or Saturday, and then Sunday she's seen Gibbsy and she's like lost it. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of giving like, wait, like
Yeah.
even
Yeah, and
Feely's
they
like,
do get
what?
pretty heated.
Yeah. So not good for the coffee shop scene. However, like we think,
Not
yeah,
great.
Hugh will definitely stay over. I think he's been having little sleepovers throughout regardless, but this would be a moment where he's like, yeah, no, I'm staying. And mind you, this would be a Sunday night, which means they'd have to go to school together the next day. So,
True.
I guess backing onto what Steph was saying about Mark, we talked about how like he's potentially come back that October. We also mentioned in March that Mark is also mentioned in Redeeming Six, and Binding 13 around, I guess, needing like to do a job, basically, a conservatory job in the city. And for us, like coincidences are Chloe's middle name. So it doesn't really make sense for her to say the same character. Like it will make sense if she does write that, and that is Mark coming back the week before Dublin. In saying that, it doesn't have to be the week before Dublin. It could be over Easter. Like just because he's in the vicinity of Ballylagan, so like he could have come back over Easter after Dublin, and Liz isn't doing well. Like that's like anything is possible. We just know he's around if it's the same Mark. So there's potential that there's a March situation and then obviously our October situation prior to Hugh's birthday and everything like that because he was clearly like seen by Gibbs. However, for some reason Liz had a feeling that someone was already back in relation to Mark, and then obviously we've got that spiral. And then I think like with March, we also know that she's spiraling post Dublin. Like she obviously wasn't doing well to begin with, and she's spiraling post. So did something happen post Dublin? Was she like we already know she was kind of not doing well prior, and she was like hooking up with Pierce the day of Dublin? Or has something happened over Easter break? We know that her parents are divorcing, but that just means Mike moved out. Like they didn't get divorced straight away. Apparently in Ireland it takes like 6 or 7 years for you to be separated before you can actually divorce. So um, it's not going to be like a quick thing. But maybe he's moved out and now Mike's not in the house. Catherine's unwell. Like, is it over Easter that something's happening with Mark? Like, I don't know.
He just doesn't do like I take everything she writes as intentional and I'm like, okay, you have a very bad villain in your book named Mark, so why would you name a random character Mark?
Yeah.
Like that is so weird to me. Like you could pick any name, like pick Tom.
Mm.
Like I can't. It's like It would make sense. It would make sense why she's doing so bad leading up to like this sad season too, and why she's not
Mm,
doing well. Like it would
mm.
also make sense in the like if she does come off her meds and why she's acting the way she's acting at like Johnny's camping trip. It would make sense if he actually was back. But it's like also like why wouldn't Gibbs know he was back? Like it's just weird. There's like weird
Like he's
things.
just
But
come for her and that's it.
but
Yeah.
then again, like we didn't see Gibbsy's POV in that timeline. Gibbsy's books always move forward. We never saw him in that time. Like maybe he knew he was back. Like you know what I mean? Like there could be so much like extra stuff that we didn't see because we never had a POV of it. No POV like that we followed would even care about Mark or
Yeah.
even really notice him. You know
Yeah.
what I
And I
mean?
mean, it could be easily just like a repeat of the wood scene because no one else saw him but
Yeah,
Liz. Like he came back,
exactly.
said he was tying up loose ends. That's it. Nobody else saw him.
Exactly.
Nobody else mentioned him. So it could be Easter weekend. Like I got time off work. Let's nip down to Ballylagan. Like, ugh. Like,
I,
fuck.
I just feel like she doesn't do anything like just like incidental. Like it's just like it has to be intentional and like I don't know. I don't know. It's there. It's there. We've seen it with our eyes and we're not ruling it out. Like
Just be prepared for it. I
just
think
be
that's
prepared if it
all we're
happens. Like
trying to
if it
say.
happens, yeah, if it happens, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, just be prepared that that's potential. Which, you know, like
Yeah,
if,
we know he's not done.
yeah, we know he's not
So,
No.
done. Very far from done. And it kind of just shows like the trend of like, yeah, like she obviously wasn't doing well prior to Dublin. Like she was like obviously homesick and then homesick, not actually sick, but you know, but Hugh was with her and then obviously she was fine the next day. So like she didn't really show a consistent trend of a particular phase, I want to say, in her bipolar prior to Dublin. Then she was kissing Pierce. So we're like, okay, well, she's kissing Pierce. Like that's her sign of like being hypersexual. And we know that she's hypersexual before she becomes manic. So like that's
Yeah.
the initial phase. We know that Hugh and Liz are doing stuff in Dublin. That's her hypersexual phase. They're still doing stuff after Dublin. Like around April period, there's a bit of sneakiness going around, the mimicking scene, all that kind of stuff. So somewhere in between there, something has happened for her to then flip to the point of fuck it, stop
Yeah.
taking the drugs. Because just because she's hypersexual doesn't mean she's not taking her drugs. Like she still
No.
could be taking her drugs and just like she says it's like a warning for her like mania. So maybe something's happened between that Easter break or whatever, March, April. She's turned off, like was like, fuck it, got rid of the drugs. That's obviously now affected Hugh because we know Hugh is very adamant about her taking her medication. She's now flipped into mania, maybe done something silly, maybe done something stupid. I mean, could name anything. I mean, could have gone back to Pierce, could have gone to Feely, like who knows in her manic state. Um, or maybe it's just the meds and like and Hugh can't handle that again.
She's just like fighting with Hugh. Like as she's
Yeah.
off her med,
She's
she's
just pushing
arguing
him
with
away and
Hugh.
arguing with him, saying your
Yeah.
shit, like all like
Yeah.
yeah, that could be it as well. Like
It could be it could be anything.
which then leads to him being mad at Johnny's camping and then that kind of filtering into, I guess, maybe. And I think like that kind of shows as well, like the like repetition of him not knowing the
Hmm.
reasons why behind like the like I guess the trigger of stopping medications and stuff like that, which is then like a repeat moving into summer. So like then imagine when he actually finds out and being like, the fuck, like again? Like again?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I guess, the vibe with Mark potentially coming back in March and then obviously October, and then he's obviously hiding around at the moment in Ballylagan around the end
Yeah.
of 2005. We do think that Hugh will piece together most of Mark around like after Winterball. Like I think like his 18th is kind of like that, ooh, what the fuck? Like something else starts
Mhm.
to clock it, starts to think about it, starts to like think about things. And then Gibbsy's letter is kind of like the thing that pushes him over and he's like, shit, like what I've been thinking is potentially true. And then he's going to investigate and he's going to pick up obviously the letter discrepancy, things like that. He's going to get full on Hugh Biggs, like fucking investigator, like over that Christmas period. And then that's obviously when he, like, majority of it finds out. But I think Liz is unraveling anyway. So like it's kind of two and two. Like she has to remember in order for him to understand because he's still not going to know everything. So yeah, I think the kind of the gist of it. But at the end of the day, like Hugh will find out everything. Like he will find out things like obviously the photos, the abortion, all of that. It's pretty clear. Also like this, I guess, last snippet that we got around like when a much larger hand rested on top of mine. When I like read that, I was like, she's kind of differentiating between two people. She's differentiating between somebody who has like a wedding ring, which we know Mark is married, and somebody who is too tender to be her father. So that's like two people. And she's saying it's not Mark, it's not Mike, and it's Hugh. So my question is then, obviously, Mark has touched her between that period, or has Mark taken her? Like, why is she waking up groggy? Like, what is that situation there? I think
Yeah.
that's more around the downfall of him.
And if Mike is separated from Catherine, he wouldn't be wearing his ring.
Yeah.
So it's like two separate individuals.
Mm. So to me, it's kind of like first when you first read it, you're like, oh, she's talking about her dad, and I'm like, wait, no, like, and even if you look at like the use of like a comma and an and is like when you differentiate between that's like the punctuation of that is differentiating between two people. Um, So is that like her telling us that something bad happens and Mark takes her and Hugh's the one to find her? Has Mark touched her in between and she's coming out of a manic spiral here? But the song I'd Come For You is just very much like Hugh defending Liz from Mark. It's very much like
Yeah.
like that savior kind of song. So to me, like, has something bad happened here? I've always kind of
I,
thought, oh, is she gonna like kidnap her or something like that or take her?
Well,
Like,
and
yeah,
is it kind of like potentially a parallel to when he found her after the 3 weeks and he's like, oh my gosh, she was like not clothed, and he was like, what is going on here? Maybe he finds her in like an unfortunately similar.
I think that's before the 3 weeks.
yeah, that's the abortion scene.
Yeah, it's right before the 3 weeks.
It's the fifth. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He
But
ends up going
anyways,
home.
like,
But yeah, you're right.
yeah, you're right. But he does find,
He finds her naked. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. So it could be something like that.
I also just feel like that song "I'd Come For You" is like very like specific to when Hugh is defending Liz from like a villain. Like I just feel like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like she's very intentional with that like song.
Mm, yeah. But that's kind of the crux around Mark. And obviously 2006 will deal with him, but
Yeah, we'll get there.
2005, there's just, I think there's going to be a bit more Mark than what anyone else sees.
Yeah. And then we have the 2 hour car ride. This is after the fight with Claire. Liz goes to the Biggs house, and it's after Claire like told Catherine she thinks Liz is cutting again. Um, so this is in October 6th, actually. Catherine ends up going to the hospital after Claire, at some point after Claire tells her, because for chest pains. So Liz is like pissed off and she's like fighting with Claire. Gibbs is also in Claire's room. That's when like they're doing like a little dancey thing. They're all fighting. Hughes comes in. He's like, "What is going on?" He takes them both downstairs. Gibbs leaves. Liz and Claire and Hugh are drinking hot chocolate. That's when we find out that the parents divorced for Liz. Hugh's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" Like, he's confused. He didn't know any of this. He's like, "You could come to me no matter what." And she's like, "Right." And then Gibbs also finds out Mark is back in that same time, like when he goes over to his house, like that's when he finds Mark. But Hugh drives Liz home from the house, and Claire mentions that it takes 2 hours because Claire ended up seeing Mark going to look for Gibbsy. So what happened in this like 2 hour car ride? Because Hugh and Liz only live 6 miles apart. So 6 miles does not take 2 hours. It's only like roughly like 20 minutes, maybe max. Like it's really not going to take that long to drop her off. We do get a lot of snippets of well, I guess it's a snippet, but there's like a whole section that like talks about Hugh like not killing the engine when he pulls in, and they're like looking out the windshield, and like she's like saying he's back, and Hugh's like, "No, like I won't let him hurt you. I'll like kill him first. And like our thoughts are maybe Hugh is seeing like Mike's car and he is assuming that Liz is talking about her father, but Liz is actually talking about the monster or Mark, and Hugh just doesn't know that. So it's like they're both talking about someone being back, but they're talking about completely separate people. Because we then get like the Liz snippet where she's like, Dad, like he's back, and he's like, no, I'm not, like your mother called from the hospital, I drove down to visit her, and like she's like, no, 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 like Dad, he's back, like she's trying to express that someone is back, the monster. And then there's a lot of snippets just around like Hugh driving her home after the fight. So what happens in this, like where does he go inside, does he stay in the car, like why is it taking 2 hours, do they go somewhere else? It's very, something happens, something is happening here. But yeah, this is prior to Hugh finding out Mark even is back. Like he doesn't know at this point. Like he has zero idea. So the fact that he's like, I won't let him hurt you, I'll kill him first, and like Liz is like saying he's back, like who is back other than Mike, you know? Because Hugh doesn't know Mark's back.
Mm. Yeah. And then he gets back and he threatens Mark straight away, as well. So it's kind of what has happened? Like obviously he always believed Liz with Kiva. So it could just be him saying, why the fuck is he back? I don't want him around. Like she's vulnerable as it is. If she sees you, like it's gonna be fucking terrible. And it could just be him like retaliating in that sense, not actually knowing anything. Like I don't actually think he knows anything
No.
just yet, but he's probably like a little bit like probably thinking like, wait, she was talking about like who's back?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like be like, wait, we just like were in the car for 2 hours and he said he's back and now I'm like, fuck, Mark's back. What? And then we know the
Yeah.
next day, like they're in the common room and he's like, you never believe, like I saw him last night, he was older. Like he's telling her that the next day and saying it was fucking Mark. And the question is like, does she already know that Mark is back? And is that the moment where she's like, wait, Mark is back, but like my monster was back too. And I wonder if that's
Like
like
an
like her like Kiva
Like
saying like you're the
connecting.
monster. Like I wonder if like Hugh, the one that comes in, obviously it's the next day in the common room, being like, hey, like you never guess who I saw last night, blah blah blah. What does he say? Like he's older, fatter, uglier. It was him, Liz. It was fucking Mark. Like I wonder if Liz's point of view is like, what? Like Mark is back. Like I wonder if that's her like
Mhm.
fuck. Like, wait, that doesn't make sense.
They both come back at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Thing.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
Coincidence? I think not.
And then we have Hugh's 18th weekend. So we definitely think that this is a parallel to Hugh's 16th weekend, which was the Great Betrayal. We all know, unfortunately, what happened that weekend. Um, this is also where he has that altercation outside of the party with Mark. I think he is suspicious at this point, and he thinks there's probably more to the story, which is why he has that kind of really aggressive knee-jerk reaction and like immediately like flies into that fight, um, and just wants him like out of his like off his property, away from like pretty much the whole block, wants him to like leave town again. Um, we do think that around this time, the Pierce stuff is going to come out. It might happen kind of around his like actual birth date, kind of through that weekend, maybe back at school. But it makes the most sense based on like the canon information we have with Pierce kind of like disappearing after. He's just kind of like staring on as people are fighting at this party. He just kind of like is never mentioned again until a weird little comment in the very end. But I think that the truth is going to come out. Hugh is going to realize Liz might not necessarily know, and I think that's going to kind of be more of like a Joey Hugh conversation. Maybe even the like, maybe you're not asking the right questions. Um, but Hugh's going to realize that it was not a consensual interaction. There's also the bathtub snippet where she says, I was calling your name. And he's like, I'm listening now. That is a parallel to the previous bathtub scene. We do think that sometime this weekend, is going to be the positive, like sexual experience. Like they're gonna go all the way. It's gonna change the narrative. It's kind of gonna replace that bad memory. Very similarly to how Aoife and Joey was like not here, and Aoife was like, no, let's like do this so that it's like replacing that bad, horrible time, and we have like a good memory to look back on here. Um, if it's not that time, we do think it's gonna be like a random day, but we still stick by like he's not doing it when he's intoxicated. He's not doing it when she's spiraling. They're not gonna do it when they are not in like an okay headspace. It just kind of takes away from the whole story and their relationship dynamic that was set up in all of R10.
Mm.
Um,
And I think
but
like
this,
if you look at Hugh as well, like Hugh, like his values of cheating and things like that, I don't think he'd do it unless him and like Katie had a very clear understanding of where
yeah.
they're at as well.
I
So
agree.
we do think that they're like not together,
Mm,
Yeah.
not together, broken up, um,
Yeah. I don't
by
think
this
he would sleep.
point.
Yeah, I don't think he would sleep with Liz if he was in a relationship with Katie.
yeah.
Like I
No,
I don't see him physically cheating.
Mm,
Emotionally,
no.
sure, but not physically.
mm,
So at some point before his like birthday weekend, they've had a conversation where like it's very clear they're no longer doing the shielding. They're no longer like keeping up pretenses. It's over.
Well, we also have
Um,
to think back to like Joey, Aoife, Paul. Like I know a lot of people don't like that comparison, but like Aoife and Paul, and I'm not saying personality wise, but Aoife and Paul were off and on a lot. So there could be a lot of off and on with Katie and Hugh too that we just haven't seen, you know? Like there might be situations where they are not together, but everyone thinks they are. You know what I mean? Because it's I don't know if like in high school, like there's always been those relationships like that. Like you're like, you know, the couple that's always off and on. You never really know when they are off or on, but you know who they are and you know
mm.
that's kind of
mhm.
their dynamic. I'm wondering if like that's kind of like Katie and Hugh, but like more secretly. Like you don't it's just like no one else sees it. But like I wonder if they just have that off and on like kind of vibe going.
Yeah. Yeah, because it could be like obviously we think that they kind of break up after the 90s party. And then
Yeah.
there's like a bit of a break over that March Easter period, which is Dublin, obviously.
Yeah.
And then like obviously they're somewhat back together at some point prior to Johnny's camping. So something's happened then. But over summer, like are they together? Or are they not? Like it could just be, yeah, like what phase are they in? Like they're in a shielding phase, yeah, but like how much of a shield is it and how much of it is just like we're just saying that we're together. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree.
so yeah, I think it depends, but I think like if it's not this weekend, like it's just gonna be a random fucking Sunday. Like I don't think anyone's gonna fucking guess it. Like I think it's just gonna be a random fucking Sunday. Like they can't hold it in anymore. They're just gonna do it, but they're gonna be in their right mind. Like I still think it needs to be in Hugh's bedroom. Like
Yeah.
And I
I
think it
still think
needs
it'll
to
be
be
at Hugh's house.
clear that it's like fully a consensual,
Yeah.
black and white, like very clear
I agree.
situation. There's going to be
Yeah. Because
no
Hugh is very
manic, no
scared.
spiraling,
Yeah, no
Yeah.
nothing
influence, no,
like that.
yeah.
Because
Mm.
Hugh is like petrified of taking advantage of Lizzie and like get like going further. He doesn't want to like give her something that she's not ready for. Like that was highlighted in R10. So regardless of if it's this weekend or not, like if I believe they have to be like in a good state of mind. Like they can't be like under the influence or like completely manic or anything like that or like completely depressed or anything. Like I feel like they both need to be of sound mind. And I agree, Krystel, like I think it has to be in Hugh's room. I think we have to like delete that Pierce memory, to be honest. And even at that one part at the bottom, if you look on the I think the right side of the screen, it says I want you to replace the memory of that day with this one. That's Claire and Gibbsy. Like this idea of like changing the narrative is in every story. It's not just Joey and Aoife. It's in every story. So I think it's very important that we keep that going. Like I feel like Chloe's not just going to be like, oh no, this couple doesn't get to change their narrative. You know what I mean? Like I feel like she's going to want to keep that going. So I agree though. I feel like if it's not this weekend, it's just going to be some random fucking Sunday.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. just on a rainy day.
It just happens,
It
and
just
that's just what.
happens because they just gave in, but
Yep.
they gave in because they felt like the love that they have for each other, and it would, yeah. And I think because like it's a very for Hugh, he's going to be very vulnerable throughout it. So like Liz has to be in her right mind to be able to like support him through that. And we've seen that in snippets. Like she's like, relax, like it's all good. Like if she was manic, she would just be going at him.
Yeah.
Which for Hugh, like that's for him, like he's waited for so long. Like it's like a disservice to Hugh as well.
Yeah.
Like,
He needs a positive experience himself,
mm,
like get Lizzie for sure, but Hugh, this is Hugh's first time.
yeah.
So like
Mhm.
I don't think like Chloe would take away from Hugh's first time.
Is pretty much like, and then we have like obviously the snippet of Huey waking up the morning of his 18th. Um, could that possibly be related to the one that's like awareness hitting like a wrecking ball? Possibly. Is it related to this game on, bitch? Does he like finally kind of like things click? And is that about Mark? He's piecing things together and he's like, okay, I'm gonna kill that guy. I don't know.
Mm, yeah.
We'll find out.
And I
But
think
he wakes up the morning after his 18th with some realization. He knows something clearly that morning.
I
yeah.
like to think it's about Pierce and or like at least a little bit. Like I
Yeah.
feel like it's gonna have to. Like I feel like we have to take care of Pierce before we handle Mark.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because that's like the roadblock.
Yeah,
Like,
and we have so much of like November that's just missing. And like we already know, like we have like a Pierce choking scene. And like to me, like it can't happen prior to this birthday party because why would you invite someone who just choked out the love of your life? Like that doesn't make sense. So like it has to happen post October 31st. So like this random missing gap in November, like it's probably happening time there. So I'm thinking the Pierce stuff is probably going to be coming out sometime in this November period.
mm,
And that's probably why we don't see Pierce until December 22nd.
yeah, exactly. There's a gap for a reason. The other thing is, yeah, Katie and Patrick going back to each other as well. It's just a back to
Yeah.
you kind of night, you know? It's Katie and Patrick giving in to whatever they've been doing for the last few months, and then obviously Kate, and then Liz and Hugh. Like a lot of them are very, I want to say like spicy playlists. Like there's just a lot of emotions in this weekend. And I say weekend because we know that their parties tend to go over the weekend and we still have the Sunday as well prior to them going back to school. So like things are obviously happening with Mark. There's like Liz and Hugh, like somewhat, I guess him finding out something of, I guess, the Pierce stuff, maybe not clicking to the next day. And then obviously a bit more of that positive, I want to say debauchery moving
Yeah.
forward. Um, I think it's going to be the wildest event of the next book, and I cannot wait. I think regardless, like Chloe's going to do this whole weekend justice. Like
Yeah.
it's
I
going to be
agree.
Hmm.
everything we need.
Yeah. I
It's gonna
completely
fucking
agree.
hurt, that's for sure, but it's gonna be everything we need. Then we get to November, so obviously following the day of the party, like if you look at the direct parallel, obviously the 1st of November is when the assault took place at Hugh's second birthday party. So it would kind of make sense for that to like click more on that day, which is the Sunday. We know that apparently Claire says Hugh was fine that day, but she was with Gibbsy all day. So who knows? Then they get back to school the following Monday.
That's
We know that Hugh appears sick or flustered at the like lunch table, more flustered. And like when you look at, I guess, Claire's response to like being flustered post being touched by Gibbs the night before, they have like the same mannerisms, the same body language. Like she's feeling sick because like she did something with like Gibbsy the night before. So is it a similar response from the big siblings? Like he's feeling flushed because over the weekend, him and Liz got together and did some things. We have the song Shameless being used in their like Liz and Hugh 18th playlist, and now we have it used for the apple scene as well, which is her sitting across from, the other side of the table, eating her apple, kind of like taunting him, which I'm 100% here for. And then obviously Katie's grabbed his hand and he's pulling away from Katie at that
Mhm.
point. So it's pretty clear that we are basically not like I guess done with Katie at that point, even from a public point of view, I want to say, because he's like, nope, I might be contagious and pulling away. Yeah. So the question is like these, like Hugh being sick, like we know he's technically sick, goes home. However, we did get that snippet that like Eva's in his bio class, which is in the afternoon. If you look at the class schedules, his bio class is until after lunch. So the question is, did he actually go home sick or did he just leave?
Yeah.
Has he gone to that class? Because obviously that snippet says he was in class with Eva, and she's like hacking at this thing, dissecting it. And we know that his bio class is at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that's something there. Like, did he actually go so home sick straight away? Did he stay? Did he see something that day? Do we have the choking scene then? Like, could it be him
Yeah.
potentially confronting Pierce about what was said? Pierce is like, nah, she's lying. I don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes and retaliates, has a chat with Liz, becomes this whole freaking like bitch scene where he's choking her. Hugh walks in. Like, is that's what's happening? Like, this choking scene is in a bathroom, so it has to be most likely at Tommen. Like, I don't know where
Yeah.
else like they're going. Like, and Katie's there. Like, it seems like it has to be at school. And we know that Pierce obviously tends to bring Liz into the bathroom, so it makes sense. Like, is that this week? And then he's gone like home. Has he gotten it? Like, has he gotten in a fight with Pierce, and that's why his mum's disappointed? Like, there's so many options as to what could be happening in this week because we don't see it from the other point of views. And then obviously he's gone home. He's sick, lying in bed, distraught. Like, he's drowning in his regret. He's literally just don't know what to do. He says it's my fault. All this kind of stuff. He says to Gibbs like he's doesn't know how to fix it. Like, to me, that sounds like, yeah, that is something you can't fix. Like, something that's been
Mhm.
2 years and 2 years ago, I can't fix it. I can't change it. Like, do you know what I mean? Whereas I feel like with, if, like, I'll think if it was Mark, which I don't think it is, like, yeah, you could still do something to, do you know what I mean? Like, there's more actions
Yeah.
around Mark than there is about Pierce. Pierce as well, like, I think we've got to remember he is a minor, and like the laws in Ireland aren't the best. Joey says it all the time. So I don't think from a legal perspective, like much will happen in that sense, but he'll be, beaten up and he'll get kicked off the rugby team and all that kind of shit. Like, I think it'll
Like
be
he'll be handled, but in
handled,
the way that the law would
yeah.
handle it.
Yeah, and the way that Hugh can handle it as well. Um, Yeah, and then I guess moving forward, we have the treehouse scene the following day, which is when Claire and Gibbs get home. First of all, they see Mark leaving, and then they go into the treehouse and they have their first time. And at the same time, we know that Hugh and Liz are in his bedroom, and that's the like you can hate me all you want if you fuck me again. So, that's like that snippet is literally why we thought Hugh's 18th would be the first time because that was the first snippet that said again. Like, you can fuck me again. And it made us seem like, okay, well, they've just done it recently. Like, so when we backtrack, we were like, okay, Hugh's 18th. And then we looked at the parallels, and that's kind of where that whole theory stemmed from. But like we said, if it's not that weekend, it's just gonna be a random fucking weekend where they are both in their right minds. Um, but to me, it's kind of like that sounds recent. Like that sounds like again, like, you know, like it's I don't know, it's odd for that to be there. And we know that like there's situations where Claire's coming in and being like, what the heck? Like Liz is in his bed and stuff like that. So like it makes sense, but you just never know till we get the book, you know? After all of this, uh, I guess the question is like when Gibbs comes down to talk to Hugh in the kitchen at 3 a.m., he's like, I've been around. So like where has he been? Like has he been out? Like it's 3 a.m. in the morning? Like has he gone and beat up
Mhm.
Pierce? Is that the beat up moment? Like what's
Yeah.
happened? Because Gibbs wakes up and Hugh's not there and he's like, where is he? And he's downstairs. So and it's 3 a.m. and he's like, I've been around. So it's like, where did you
Yeah.
go? So the question is, I guess, like I think for all of us, we would love Joey to be involved in at least the conversation with Liz because through this, it kind of looks like Liz doesn't really care. She had a pep in her step on Monday. Like she's asking when she goes to Claire's in the afternoon, oh, he's still sick. Why is he still sick? Like she doesn't quite understand just yet, but Hugh's probably clocked it and been like, what the fuck do I do? Like, And he's probably also like, how do I explain this to her because she's not understanding? So like, is like hopefully somehow Joey going to loop in with all of this, given his situation with Danielle? We would love that to be like his like, brotherly kind of advice to Liz. And is Liz and Hugh and Joey going to handle Pierce together? Like what is the situation? All we know is that yes, Pierce will be handled and it'll be okay. But most likely in this November period, because yeah, like Bree said, like this is the gap. We don't see Pierce again until December 22nd, which is the day before Winterball, and he's in the hallway. He's not even in the group.
Yeah.
So he's clearly been told to fuck off, and leave us. And why is he away for so long? Like, did we like beat him up and he was like having to recover? Like, you just never know.
To the Winter Ball, and a lot just happens at the Winter Ball. We all know it. But I guess there is some new playlist that did come out that like maybe showed a little bit more to the dynamic. We do think the swap girl scene with Joey is at Winter Ball. We do think that's going to take place there. We also do know that Hugh is going to dance with Liz. There's like that playlist where they're like, I guess like there's a multiple playlists, but there's a playlist where Hugh and Katie are gonna go dance, the Will We playlist. But Hugh was like locked eyes on Liz. Then there's like the ignoring wide-eyed stares from our classmates. Hugh led me out to the dance floor. I think there's another. Is that the one? No, there's another one too. It was a recent one. I forget what it said, but it did mention how they were angry with each other, like while they were dancing, but I don't remember exactly which one it was. I saw it today. That's the only reason I'm bringing that up. But I think that was like they were dancing and it mentioned how they were angry with each other. So that's interesting too. We also have the show me scene. We think that has to be something tangible, like something like you can actually show. Is it medications? Is it, I don't know, self-harm? I don't know. There could be a lot of options. Medication makes sense in my head just because we do know she has her pills on her because Shannon gets a pill for Claire. But again, I don't know. I just think it's something tangible that you can like hold or visually see. We do think Hugh and Katie, like this is the end. I know we say end, like there's a lot of breakup scenes, but this is like official.
Like in the eyes of people. Yeah.
In the eyes, yes, exactly. Like I think this is going to be like, we do get that like rain scene that I know who you are even when you don't. This is probably post Gibbs leaving after all his trauma's been like said. This is probably, they all probably run outside in the rain. Who knows what happened here, but we do know Joey ends up driving Liz home. It's also mentioned Liz is unraveling here. I think even prior to Winterball, it said she was manic in the common room, right? The Viper in the common room scene.
Yeah.
So like she's not doing well here. We do know she did go to Winterball with Patrick. I wonder if there's some reason for that. But yeah, there's just a lot going on here with Liz and Hugh. But there's like even like there's a lot off page that I feel like we have not seen. Like Claire and Shannon were in the bathroom for an hour and a half. Like what happened in that hour and a half to everyone else? Like we don't see it because they are in the bathroom, but we have no idea what's going on. Like Patrick, Gibbs, and Johnny are like in the locker room, I think, drinking tequila at one point. And like, where is Katie? Where is Hugh? Where is Lizzie? Like, where's Joey? Where's Ethan? Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like there's like a lot of missing parties that we have not seen at the Winter Ball. So much is happening that like we have not seen yet. I think it's going to be a lot bigger of a scene than we think. But yeah. And I think there is some like Katie Feely Winter Ball playlists. I don't know if we added them in, but there is some, and they don't seem very positive. It doesn't seem like they're getting back together here. Like it seems like it's almost like a goodbye in a way. Like they don't seem like let's make it work. Like to me, it seems like, oh, like we are gonna put distance between us.
Yep. So it's kind of like a means to an end with Katie and Feely.
It kind of makes sense because we have a lot of like the grown up playlist for them, so maybe they're later on, but it does seem like they are not in the best place here.
Yeah. And I think there's like obviously like Liz is like unraveling all the way
Mhm.
up until Winterball. So the question
Yeah.
is like, I mean, we started like, let's say October with the Mark stuff. We've had our ins and outs November. We've got the Pierce stuff. Like, I mean, it's bound to happen and it's bound for her to be like, nah, see ya. And she's unraveling. And we obviously know over Christmas it's not good. So Hugh's probably seeing this. And I think like this is our moment where like Hugh is really trying to fight for her. Um, and like show her her worth and stuff, and like she just can't even think straight right now, like so much is going on he doesn't even realize like underneath how she's unraveling and remembering things or whatever, and he's just trying to like say like I want you, like all this kind of stuff, and she's like I can't even fucking think about that right now, like I'm like like, and that could be him pushing her away and blah blah blah, or she could be pissed that he's still seen with Katie, like fuck, who knows, like um but like I think the whole swapping girls thing is like for sure at this dance. Like this is the dance we know of. So to me, it's like that's his like grand gesture of shop like swapping girls. Even if they're pissed at each other, he still wants to fucking dance with her. Like,
Yeah.
and then we kind of move into like the whole, I guess, blow up and everything. And the question is then what does Hugh do after? And I think there's a lot of question that Hugh doesn't do anything. I'm like, well, we didn't see his point of view. I think Hugh will go to bat for Liz after everything.
I al- I also wonder, like, because there's that one scene with Gibbs talking to Feely, and Feely says, like, he brought Liz, and Gibbs is like, your funeral, lad. Like, is there going to be some type of confrontation with Hugh and Feely that, like, Feely brought Liz to Winterball? You know what I mean? Like, maybe they kind of, like, are go like, I feel like there's so many missing parts because it's like, Gibbs knows something. What do you mean, your funeral?
Yeah,
Like, is
yeah.
it just, you know what I mean? So, like, what does
Like,
that
does he
mean?
know that something happened with Patrick and Liz? And
Yeah,
like,
like,
and now he's like, why the fuck would you bring her? Like, what? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of missing pieces, but like a lot of like foreshadowing. And then like even when Claire and Gibbs are in the common room, and then Liz and Hugh come in, and she's like, Claire's like Hugh, why are you like with Liz or whatever? And then like Liz is like, why are you with my enemy? And then they kind of start like doing that fight. Like Claire says, like, I don't care what you do with Pierce or Feely or any other boy, but like it's really weird language. Like it's like very odd. It's very suspicious. There's so much going on, and I feel like there's so much that we like Chloe intentionally did not tell us because she was like, I want to see if they pick up on things, you know? Like I'm like reading word for word this Winterball scene. I'm like, why did she say it like that? Why did he
yeah,
say it like that? What is going on?
there's so much
Like
more. Yeah.
there's so much more to the scene.
And why is Feely being mentioned in the same
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. It's very
sentence?
odd. Very
Mm.
odd.
Yeah. And we know
Yeah.
that like Hugh, like obviously there's the rain scene afterwards as well, where she's like completely losing it, completely unraveling. We know that Joey's going to drive her home as well. And we know that Hugh obviously goes to bat for her at some point. And like he does, like they all go back to Gibbsy's house, so it's very quick. Like it's not super, like it's not a very big romantic rain scene. Like she is not doing well. And I think he's starting to clock like what he's been thinking about maybe for the past few months, and now it's like in front of him and he's like fuck, like I don't even know where to start. I just need to like be there for her, and everything like that. But yeah, I guess the other thing was, I think I put it in here, like yeah, so these snippets, like we said, they're still around, so the question is, when is this happening? Like if Feely brought Liz, is there like confrontation again, like previous to friggin' Johnny's camping being like, you brought Liz, like, what the fuck, man? Like, like, is that something that could happen? Um, because, like, did they even tackle it? Did they fight over Summer? Like, amongst everything that's happening, I feel like a lot of the time multiple things are happening. Um,
At the same
like,
time,
not
yeah.
just one thing. So,
Mhm.
is like there a confrontation because we're saying that Feely and Katie are like kind of saying it's, I mean, goodbye, whatever. Hugh and Katie are saying, nah, see it, like it's done. Then Hugh and Liz, like this is the fucking the love square. Like this is where we're gonna, is this where we're gonna like fucking have it all out? Like everything's gonna be out. I don't know. Like, so I guess, yeah.
I looking at these, like I'm just like, it's
It,
so
it just
scary.
looks like a hot fucking mess. That's what it does. And the
It
question is
looks like
like,
a mess. I can't see like Hugh like physically like fighting Feely if he did something with Katie. So like it scares me because it's like he would get very, very violent if it was about Liz. And like that makes me so nervous because I hope that's not the case, you know? But like there's a lot of stuff happening here.
Yeah. And I mean, this could just be like,
Yeah.
some of these could just be the vibe. We know there's a lot of confrontation between
Yeah.
Katie and Hugh throughout the whole timeline of 2005. We know there's confrontation between Feely and Hugh. And like we said, like, if it was about Katie, it would just be like brushed over the next day and like, no problem. But if it was about Liz and now who's brought Liz, like imagine that. Like imagine finding out that you like they actually hooked up at some point and then you hooked up over your birthday weekend or whatever.
I
And then he brings her to fucking Winterball. I'd be like, no wonder Gibbs is like, that's your fucking funeral, mate. Like,
There's also that one playlist. Well, it was three playlists, and it says like, "What if Hugh was?" I'm gonna mess up. You know the love triangle better than me, but it was like, "What if Hugh was Betty, and then Liz was James, and
Oh,
Patrick was
yeah.
August?"
yeah,
It's like, what? Like, why was that even there? Like,
yeah,
I have that one saved on my phone. It's like, oh my gosh, like,
yeah,
please don't do
exactly.
it.
Yes. If you don't know the folklore love triangle, it is purely inspired by Patrick, Hugh, and Liz. And
Right.
like, and it's interesting because like I said, like those songs are used for Hugh's 18th. So it's kind of giving like resolution at his 18th to the
Yeah.
point that we've like, you know, somewhat forgiven each other and we can move forward. So that's why the Pierce stuff has to come out because like Pierce was also seen as like
August.
August. Or it just depends, I guess, on like what is the dynamic. But to me, I'm kind of like, this has to come out at some point, and has it come over like my thought is has it come out over summer where we haven't seen, or is it coming out later, like around this period, which kind of affects the lines between the friendships moving into 2006?
Do
Because
that.
like if like if we're saying like Hugh and Liz are going to be like isolated on one side, like there needs to kind of be a reason as well, because I feel like Feely would be pretty like Switzerland. Like he'd be like, well, I mean, I've been hanging out with Liz anyways. Like, yeah. So I guess like, and we know, yeah, that like Feely and Hugh are like at some point after this working together to look at that, the letter discrepancy. Like we know that that's Feely as well. So it's kind of like how big of a event is it as well? Like if it was just about Katie, you'd be like, okay, I mean, we were shielding anyways. If it was about Liz, like you'd feel like it'd be more. But then in the scheme of things, like, is it like because it was this long ago, it is what it is? Like, but I don't know, these things are still out there. So like to me, it kind of makes sense that like you built a whole thing on like the folklore love triangle. Like there's going to
Yeah.
be elements of that we're still going to use. We know that there's confrontation at Winterball. We know that there's like confrontation at Johnny's camping. And like it's a square, like it's a love square. It's not a love triangle with Katie, Hugh, and Liz. Like Feely's in there. So like
Yeah.
they all have to have some sort of, I don't know,
Dynamic.
interaction or something. And like, I mean, who's left? Patrick and Liz. So just FYI, like I think
Yeah.
I think it's funny because we look at all these and then we're like, but wait, we haven't put these snippets anywhere. And we're like, where are they? Like
Yeah.
could be anywhere between this timeline, but it kind of just shows that we think that there's
I
still
think we
something there.
wanted I think we wanted it to be like more so like maybe she's just not using them anymore, but like we know Chloe's like writing process. Like if she wasn't using a snippet, she would just get rid of it. You know what I mean? Like why would she keep it an active playlist? And I think that's what throws us into like that confusion thing because it's like if it is active, is that active to the story?
Yeah, exactly. And like, is it active, but maybe the emotion's different because
Yeah.
it's not like she's just rewritten it in the sense that obviously Katie's involved. So is it like the same theme, the same actions, but the emotion's different and the response is different to
Yeah.
like what she had planned. So who
I can
knows?
see
But,
that.
so we kind of talked about Winterball obviously being like the unraveling moment for Liz, Hugh clocking things and being like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, just like sitting in like standing in the room being like, oh, she's always talked about Kiva and all of a sudden this is Gibbs. Would you not just be like, wait, what? Like Liz has been in their house longer than Gibbs. Like, um, I think Hugh will, and he's had like this inkling for a little bit, so I feel like that would be his like oh, shit moment. We know that Winterball is the 23rd, so then we've got Christmas Eve, which is the 24th. So is that that's the day the guards are at Gibbsy's house. So like is that like Hugh reading the letter then? Because obviously they all went back to Gibbsy's house. He was able to read the letter. Is this him now figuring out there's something wrong with it? And Feely's like, can't you like sense that that we're being shafted? We're only showing half the puzzle, blah blah blah. Like he's
Yeah.
like having this discussion with Feely and he's talking about there's a disparity, it's dated wrong, like he's already starting to be like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, and I think this is when Hugh and obviously him and Feely like turn into fucking Sherlock fucking Holmes and like they're like trying to work it
They're
out. And
investigating.
Feely's probably like, I didn't pay attention to much when we were kids, so I have no idea what you're talking about here. But I feel like Hugh would be like, no. And I think you've always got to like think like Hugh tried to listen to Liz when she was like rambling about the monster and her nightmares and stuff like that. He's probably going to be thinking about all those moments, being like, what, like, when was that? Like, how did that happen? Like, even just the recent, like, where's my girl snippet? He's going to be thinking about the monster and being like, holy, like, wait, that happened. Mark was back the next day. Like, he could even be clocking that himself because
Yeah.
that's fresh. Like, he remembers, wait, the next day I told her Mark was back and she was like, what? I'm confused. Like,
Yeah.
I would be clocking that. Like, I think Hugh's like so smart that he's going to figure that out.
I think
Um,
it's so.
so like we think this letter whole situation is going to be like just after Winter Ball, moving into Christmas, and then obviously Christmas Day. I mean, we'll get into that, but like because it kind of has to like the letter, like if it wasn't now, it would have to be like early January, but it seems like
Yeah.
early January he already kind of knows. So the question is like, how did he find out? And if the letter is like the piece of evidence that helped him piece stuff together, he'd have to see it before Gibbsy left, and Gibbsy left Christmas. So this is the like one day. We have 24 hours.
Yeah. There's not that much time.
Yeah, we have 24 hours to get this shit cracked, Hugh.
Yeah.
Like, um, and I guess the other thing is we always talked about is will this trigger him to look for more? Like, will he go to Liz's house to keep his room to find more? Like we've always said, like there's potentially more letters. I think the whole fandom can agree on that. There's got to be more. There's got to be more for Liz. So has she written something down in a notebook, ripped it out, put it in her room, and the journal, because we know the journal is what was burned, not the notebook. So is there things in her room, and does this letter trigger Hugh to be like, I need to find more because this isn't making sense and I need to figure this out? Like, and that's like, I guess, Christmas Eve moving
Yeah.
forward.
Plus, he has that conversation at Christmas with his parents, and he's like, Liz has been saying all of this stuff for years, but no one's listened to her. Like, he is thinking about Liz. Like, I feel like it's in his brain.
Yeah.
Like, we know it's in his brain. He says it to his parents, it's in his brain. Like,
Mm.
like, oh, now he's a monster. Interesting. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird wording. But yeah, and we know, like, over Christmas we have Liz like unraveling, she's not doing well. We do have the playlist like saying that Hugh and Liz are together. I think wasn't Liz at like the annex or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have them all on the next slide. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But it's like she goes to the annex, and then at some point Hugh and Liz are together over Christmas. We do think that all this unraveling is going to lead Liz into a very, very, very bad unravel spiral thingy mabobber where she does attempt suicide. We do think this is probably most likely going to be over New Year's Eve. Could Joey be potentially not involved is not the correct word, but like could he potentially be there in a way to help Liz with Hugh? Because maybe that's like a parallel to the bridge scene where Liz helped Joey. I think that would be kind of poetic in a way. We do think if she does do like have this suicide attempt, she's going to require hospitalization. I mean, that's just kind of normal after that. She would need to be like making sure she's stabilized. There is a big enough stretch for that to happen before school restarts. We do think, like we said, Hugh starts to piece things together about Mark, post to Gibbs stuff coming out, and then we also have Hugh breaking down over Xmas break. So there's a lot going on around this whole home period when they're home for the winter holidays.
Yeah. So if we look at some of the snippets, I mean, yeah, you kind of see that like Hugh and Liz, like all I want for Christmas is Hugh. Like Liz is at
Yeah.
the annex, she's with
Yeah.
Joey for his birthday, and she's thinking about Hugh. And we know Hugh does leave like Christmas dinner and leaves the
Yeah.
family and like heads over to her. So that's kind of like their big like, yay,
Yeah.
Christmas. And then it's like fucked. Like
Like
because she's not doing well. Like it's great
not
that they're
doing
gonna have a
well.
moment and it's gonna she's swooning when he shows
There's,
up and everything, but
and
it's
there's like literally the one it's like the I hope like if I die, I hope I die first or whatever,
yeah.
like the unraveling. Like there's a lot of just not
There's a
well.
lot going on. Yeah. And that
Not
kind of
well.
like filters in through like we know that they obviously get the time off school. So like anything
Yeah.
could happen from Christmas moving into New Year's Eve. Like New Year's Eve doesn't sound like a good period. And then obviously they still have time off before they go back to school. So it's kind of like this whole Christmas New Year's Eve period. It's kind of like them getting back together, but also like unraveling, Hugh finding out the truth, him breaking down himself, like, and then Liz like trying to do something to hurt herself as well. So it's just going to be the worst freaking emotional. I'm like so scared to read this
I'm
whole
scared.
period
I'm
of
scared.
time because it's going to be the fucking worst.
And like it's almost like they can't even like restart their relationship yet. Like I think they'll be together, but like I don't think like officially boyfriend girlfriend because like I don't think we can. Like if she's
Yeah.
just like a mess, like she's not healthy enough to be in a relationship yet. And it's like, "Oh my gosh, we are literally about to enter 2006. What do you mean? Like
Yeah.
what do you mean? There's so much going on still."
Yeah. Exactly. And I think like they're just trying to cope in their own way. So like they're together like
Yes.
in that sense, but obviously nobody knows they're together until they go back to
Yeah.
school. But
Yeah.
like for Hugh and Liz, they've never had to make it like official, if that made sense.
No.
Like they just kind of know that like where they're
They're-
at.
yeah, they like know they're each other's person,
Yeah.
Like
So
it's
that's
more
like
so, I would say, about the staying. Like, I
yeah.
feel like that was like how Hugh didn't stay, like
Yeah.
at our 10. Like, I feel like it's more so showing that Hugh is staying.
He was staying, yeah. And like the parallel of like the hospital and everything and obviously him looking after her and oh my God, hurts me.
Ugh,
Like this whole 2 weeks is just gonna be
yeah,
the worst thing. Like
yeah.
it's like what we want. Like we want the truth out. We want Hugh to find out. But
It's
like
gonna
the
hurt.
aftermath of that for Hugh and also Liz, because Liz is probably like in her mind, like it's a really going to be a really scary time at this time because she's going to be remembering like 3 weeks. She's going to be remembering what happened to Kiva. Like she's going to be remembering it all. And Hugh's like trying to piece it together, but also like wanting to know more. So like imagine like that fine line of like, can I ask her this? I don't know. Like, like
Thinking about it too, and I was like, I don't think people even think of how traumatizing like the whole like Kiva situation is too. Like she watched her sister be murdered.
mm,
Like I don't think like that's talked enough about. Like she truly like because I don't think Liz like fully understands it. Like I think she knows it, but like I don't think she fully has processed it yet. That like Mark killed her sister.
yeah.
Like he like,
Mm,
literally murdered her. And
mm,
like so on top of like all like the assault that Lizzie went through, now we also have to deal with the fact that she witnessed her sister's murder on
yeah.
top. Like there's just so much that she has to
Yeah.
unpack.
I'd be like, I can't do this anymore.
I
I'm
couldn't
out.
do that.
I'm out. I
I'm
can't
out.
cope.
I couldn't do it. I would need help.
Yeah, so it's just not going to be a good time. But yeah, so we definitely think this is the big, big, big moment of 2005. Now, a few things. I think we want to talk about some of the other little components before we get into 2006. Obviously, the scary lady is one of those things that is still a mystery to everyone. I mean, is Nell the scary lady? I mean, most likely we know that, you know, Nell is obviously Mike's sister who had like bipolar and was unwell and whatnot. So is it her? Most likely. What is her reason? Nobody fucking knows. She's living in the bloody woods. I mean, she's obviously not nice. She's attacking
No,
them at points. Like, like,
I don't know.
is she trying to finish the job? Like, I always wondered, like, is the foreshadowing of the drowning like, yes, there's going to be a scene of water and drowning and whatnot. Is like the scary lady gonna like try and succeed? Like, is it, yes, we talk about Mark's downfall being around water because that's related to, you know, Gibbsy and Liz.
Yeah.
which I still think is a pretty big thing, and obviously Hugh being a lifeguard, but is the scary lady somewhat involved in another situation? Like,
Yeah. Could there be like
where does this
multiple
fucking
things?
drowning, yeah, is there multiple situations? Are there
Yeah.
multiple crime scenes in this
Yeah.
fucking
That's a
book?
great question.
Like,
That's a great question.
like, yeah, I just feel like what is she fucking doing? Like,
Happening.
and like I know obviously there's a theory that like maybe that's her mom because of like, the missing medical records and things like that. But then I'm kind of like, why do we build Catherine up like for
Yeah, I
this
don't see
though?
it.
Like, why do we talk about Catherine's love as a mother and all this kind of stuff? Because this lady clearly doesn't fucking love her. She's trying to drown her. Like, like, what does
It
that
doesn't make
do
sense.
for her? And we know Catherine's unwell and potentially will most likely pass at some point. So it's like, so
Yeah.
we're gonna get rid of Catherine and then we have this scary lady and she's your mom? Like, fuck. Like,
Here,
this,
go live with
this
her.
can't catch a fucking break. Like, I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
saying it
no.
can't happen, but I'm less like,
No, I see it, but at the same time, I'm like, what's the purpose of it?
yeah, like, because doesn't seem nice. Like,
No, it doesn't seem nice.
like originally we thought she might be protecting, but with these snippets, she's
It
like
doesn't seem
attacking them. Like,
like the songs on like I don't know. It just seems weird. Like this haunted trail, like come little children. Like it doesn't seem like oh like let's hang out. Like I'm actually a good person. It sounds like very
sounds
spooky,
creepy.
creepy.
And like
Like it's weird.
he says like she had claws and was like freaking clawing at him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that
So like
doesn't
I'm
sound
thinking
nice
like
at all.
long fingernails, like unkept. Like she doesn't
Like, has
seem
she just escaped the mental hospital and she's just
she escaped
like,
from Brick House.
yeah, she's just trying to get her daughter back. Like, I'm just like, but I'm still like, but why? Like, if Liz is like, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't
I feel
know.
like the scary lady nobody's gonna clock, and I'm
She's
excited
the
to
no,
just see
she's the
how it.
unknown.
No, she's unknown, but I think there's gonna be scenes that are like, I mean, pretty standard. Like, I think obviously it looks like Hugh obviously has seen her at some point, so like the question is like, I wonder if he like goes to the guards or doesn't, because every time he goes to the guard, they like don't believe him. So like I wonder if that's like a theme consistent. And then obviously like he's trying to explain to Katie and Katie won't have a bar of it. So like so
Rightfully so. I don't
nobody actually believes Huey.
yeah. Yeah, Lizzie's memories and stories. So we do think that Lizzie's going to go through those like periods of like clarity and stuff. I think that the 3 weeks are way too intentional to not come back. Like we're gonna have to revisit it. We're gonna have to figure out what happened in this 3 week period. We're gonna have to learn about like what happened to Liz and Kiva and the actual like outcome of Kiva's death. Like where there's gonna have to be more Kiva letters or evidence or something. Like why mention like you put a baby inside a baby? Why did Kiva have to learn everything before she passed? Like I feel like things are just too intentional. Like that stuff didn't have to come out. Like if it was just nothing, I feel like the only person that knows what happened to Lizzie is Mark and Kiva because even Lizzie doesn't really remember things. So Lizzie's going to have to start remembering. And I think Kiva is going to have to play a bigger role. I think she has to like, I also think she needs just a little bit of like redemption in the fandom. I feel like there's a lot of times the fandom's like she didn't do enough. And like, I feel like this will be a good way to show that she actually did do stuff. And on top of this, like we know Lizzie wrote stories and she wrote things while she was manic and stuff like that. Will those come into play? But I do think it's a fiction book. In real life, do I think everything would come back? Probably no, but like I think in a fiction setting, I think all of the stuff is going to come back. I think we're going to revisit it. I think Lizzie's going to remember it. I think it's going to be hard at times. Like I think when people think like she's stable with her bipolar, like moments of clarity in that stable period could be the hardest period for Liz because when you're manic, you feel fantastic because you're on top of the world. The depression obviously sucks, but like you're also like mostly like in bed, not doing anything. So I think like that stable clarity period for Lizzie is going to be very challenging. Like very, very challenging. And I think that's a lot of times when she's going to struggle with like these memories and flashbacks because that's when they would come back, like when her mind can process it. And I don't think she's going to want to process it.
Yeah. And like obviously we've got like the stories of like Samson Strong
Yeah.
obviously being like a highlight of what she's been writing. So the question is like, I wonder like how many like volumes of her story she has. Like obviously
Yeah.
she's been writing them since she was young. So like
Yeah.
what is in this copybook? Shannon, have you read what else is in there? Like,
And that was just one of the stories she wrote, you know, like she mentions how she's written a ton of different stories. We know she's writing stories when she's like not doing well. Like she's writing a lot of stories. I'm assuming they're all in like one like notebook or like multiple notebooks in her house or something, you know what I mean? And she
yeah,
just has all these like different stories, and I bet a lot of them are based on true events.
yeah, exactly. And I think that will kind of help, like, because at the end of the day, we need more evidence. Like we need yes, Kiva's letters. We need the photos. Obviously, she has the photos as well. We need like Gibbsy's letter, but we also need Lizzie's memories as well. And like that will kind of help put it all together because Hugh can only piece together so much. So is Hugh gonna read the stories and be like,
Yeah.
fuck,
Question.
like because he's trying to put things together post the Winterball with the letter. Has Hugh found the photos? Like, I mean, I feel like Hugh doesn't need to find the photos to know what's happened, but obviously, most of the time in most of these situations, the MMC does find the photos. I mean, it's
I
not
know
gonna
it
be
hurts my
great.
soul. Literally
Yeah,
hurts.
like that's kind of what happens, but like he doesn't necessarily need to find them to know, but he could read
Mhm.
the stories and whatever. So like, is Hugh gonna be the one that's gonna help like put all this evidence together and help Lizzie like understand? Because even if she does remember, she's not gonna understand because for so long you were kind of groomed to think
Mhm.
that it was good and it was
Yeah.
medicine and it was
Yeah.
like not to be scary. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't just break that in a day. Like that's going to take time to unpack.
Yeah.
Like she's really going to have to go through intense therapy, really, to unpack it all. Um,
Yeah.
and is Hugh going to be the one to help her piece things together once she starts remembering? Like she's got to unlock it and then he's got to kind of help,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, connect it. Pregnancy.
Love it. Love it.
Oh,
Um, well, we do got that new snippet where we know Katie does lose her virginity to Patrick. So that's interesting because that is something we have been saying for a while now. We definitely thought that was a possibility, and like that kind of came out, and I'm running with it. I'm running with that one. I think that happened in 2003. I think that we know that they meet September 2003, and then by New Year's 2003, like things go to shit. Because Patrick and Casey do that whole thing where they hook up. But what happened within this time period, I think, is very important to the story because we know that the Mr. Brightside scene that Patrick has to take care of something with his music club friend, and that passage has always stuck out to us because it's like, why did she need help with something so important? Like, what is this important thing that they had to take care of? Hugh just assumes he's going to hook up with her. But like, what is it? Because like, why mention it? Um, so I think we looking at all the playlists and thinking of that scene and just thinking about why Katie was so upset that she needed the shield relationship with Hugh, we kind of put together that there is a lot of stuff leading to potentially a pregnancy scare, a miscarriage, some type of abortion, some type of pregnancy situation in 2003 with Patrick and Katie. We have them falling hard for each other in September. We have them in October with the heart. We have the Taylor Swift All Too Well song, which Krystel can go and explain that one all to you guys. We
come
have
on,
Two Pin
guys. You know
Nine.
the red scarf, the red
Yeah,
scarf.
we have a lot of stuff going on. We know Katie was at Hugh's birthday party because Patrick invited her. Um, yeah, there's just a lot. We know with their dynamic too, I could see it adding a problem and some dynamic to their story because Patrick has a lot of issues with his home life and so does Katie. Katie has like very young parents. She doesn't have like the best like I guess parental figures. Like I feel like she was very nervous for AJ when he was born, and I think she also has like self-image issues. And I think adding, I don't like a pregnancy trope, but I think when done correctly, it makes sense and can add value to a story. Like Joey and Aoife, for instance, that added a lot of value to their story. And I don't necessarily think this is like a full-on pregnancy trope. I don't think they're actually having a baby, but like I think that there was some type of something that was around this. Like I don't know, like just based off like some songs like Red Rag Top. I mean, we did what we did and we tried to forget. And I think it would add like more to both of them. Like why are they so upset? Why are they spiraling so much? Like what is their issue? Like I'm sorry, but September to December isn't like a very big time period for like, I feel like to be so infatuated where they're like so heartbroken. You know what I mean? Like how are you so heartbroken if nothing happened? Like, yes, it's awful that you had to watch like the guy you like do that with your best friend. Awful. Hate that. But like at the same time, like, is that enough to like date his best friend for potentially 2 years?
Yeah.
I just feel like it's
What's
very
the ammunition? Yeah. Because like,
what is
if
the
you were
catalyst?
hurt, you would rebound and it wouldn't be this whole thing where you're having to shield. And like she's going back to him anyways. We know Katie and Feely are hooking up anyways throughout 2005. So like, what is it that you can't really trust him again? So is it this has happened and Katie is obviously so vulnerable afterwards and doesn't know how to cope. Obviously, she has young parents. Feely, I think, like obviously there's thoughts of like Feely's sister actually being his like mum, given that she was young, which I think still is potentially the case because of the whole grandparent situation. Like, is it like that's triggered something for him and like he went off the rails after finding out about it and then maybe he left her and like in her time of need and then fucked Casey. Fair. That I would say, yep, you do you, Katie. Like,
Yeah,
like
I would get it.
if
I would
that's the
get her
case, I
reaction.
would get it. I'd be like, yes, like, okay, so you had this situation, you thought you were in love with each other. Maybe you weren't exclusive because you were still sneaking around. As, for instance, he kept you like a secret, I kept you like an oath. And that whole scare happens. Maybe it's a miscarriage. I don't know if it'd be an abortion, but something of that lines where we actually have the scare of holy shit, and maybe something does happen, it doesn't come through. And
Yeah.
in her time of need, it's obviously around December. Feely's not doing well. He's spiraling, probably because of it, most likely, or something else. Who
Yeah.
knows? We don't know Feely's backstory and family dynamics. All we know is obviously like his sisters and things like that, and potentially some weird like family dynamic there. So has something happened there which caused him to spiral? And do the things that he did on New Year's Eve, which really hurt Katie because she was still mourning or grieving, I want to say, this whole
Yeah.
situation because you would grieve that, even if it was a near miss or
100%.
a miscarriage, you are going to be grieving that. And if you're like alone grieving that, like
Awful.
terrible, terrible. Like Liz technically hasn't grieved for that. Like she hasn't had any like situation to grief like for any of that because she doesn't fucking understand it. Like, like,
Yeah.
and I think she will have to have a moment where she does recognize it and
I think she
understand
would.
it,
Yeah.
as part of her healing. But I guess for Katie, if this is the case and this is what happened, like, yeah, you would feel like abandoned and like used and like left. So
Yeah.
to me, like if that's the, I want to say the emotion you're holding on to, it doesn't matter if like a year from now we hook up at the 90s party, like I'm still gonna be like, oh, but hold on, like, do you remember
And
like when
I
you did this
can't
to
be with
me?
him.
Yeah,
Well, we even get that snippet. It's like I can love him too much, and like to me, it just shows like she's petrified. Like she's so
yeah.
scared of being too serious with Patrick,
Mm.
like moving forward,
Yeah,
because
because
she
she knows what could happen because she
what could
did it.
happen.
Yeah.
She feels that she knows she could love him too much, and like she's probably scared. Like, what if he like leaves, or what if he doesn't stay, or like rightfully so. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could have gone on.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
think this would, like I said, I don't like a pregnancy trope. I think it can add value to a story, and I could see it adding something to their story.
Yeah.
Like if there was a miss or like some type of like issue. I agree. I don't know if it will necessarily be an abortion, but like I can see a scare or a miscarriage of sorts. Like I don't know. Like sometimes you like in real life you could take a pregnancy test that could come up positive, you go to the doctor and then like you get the blood test and then like you're like actually no, you're not pregnant, like it was just a false positive. So like
Mm.
could it be something like that? Like there's so many opportunities for like a pregnancy trope. It's just I can't not look at these playlists and be like, okay, there's no potential. There
Yeah.
is a potential for it. You
Yeah,
know
I
what I
feel like if
mean? Like,
there's anyone, like if we looked at like everyone, if there's
yeah,
anyone that we think would have a pregnancy trope, it would be Katie and Feely. Obviously, Aoife and Joey, yes, they're gonna have more children, but like if we look at what's to come in the stories that we don't have just yet, like it gives them a like a bit more to unpack. And like
yeah,
it gives you that real second chance romance dynamic. You know,
yeah,
like in high school this is what happened and then, whatever they go back because we know that they're going to be obviously more of a college
yeah.
phase, like then we get the
I
second
also
chance romance.
I also think it could be like a reverse parallel to Joey and Aoife in the way, because like while Joey and Aoife did have a child, like Patrick and Katie potentially will not have the child, but like have lost a child in a sense. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So
yeah.
like it could be that reverse parallel that like now we have a couple that has to deal with grief and mourning of like what was a potential, and that could be very very hard, but I think it could also be very healing, and I think it could also like they're gonna have to find themselves, but they also are gonna have to do it together too. And I think that's really important for their story
Yeah.
because like I think they've been pushing each other away a lot of the times. And while like we do know like they hook up throughout the timeline, like I think they also have to identify their feelings. And I
Mm.
think that's gonna be a big thing for them.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing between them, and we've seen it in the recent snippets, is like their communication. Like Katie even says, like it was miscommunication on my side as well. So like it's pretty clear that maybe they didn't have a conversation about
Yeah.
exclusivity. Maybe that's why she wanted to have that conversation with Hugh from the get-go. Like she obviously didn't tell Casey. Like it's very much secret. So
Yeah.
and it's also like I always think like because this is like if you think about it, technically 2 years later, like it's kind of like too far now, like it's too far gone. Like, do we say anything? So my other thought is like, when does Hugh find out about this? Because like it's kind of clear that he doesn't really know everything about obviously their dynamic and you probably wouldn't want to share anything until it gets to a point. So I've always kind of wondered if we are right with this and this is like the backstory of Feely and Katie, is this the reason Hugh is protecting Katie? Like he's obviously seen and heard about Casey at the pavilion, right? So has he been like, you're seriously like, what the fuck? How could you do that? And that's like he'll be there for her again platonically, not romantically, but as that barrier to be like, okay, if I'm around, like he won't try. I mean, he does still try. Like he won't try anything. Like I can be there for you, but in that friendship sense, because
Yeah.
I'm obviously still in
Protection.
love with Liz. Yeah. And like, is this the reason? Because I think like Hugh is a protective guy. So like if someone said to him, yo, this happened and like I'm still really hurting from it. I don't know what to do. I want to go back to him. And he's trying to be like, but he's different with you, like, and she's like so scared, he'll just do what he can to comfort her in the moment. He's not gonna like if she says no, he's gonna say, okay, no, like she didn't want to go back. Like she's not gonna like try and persuade her into doing something that she doesn't really want to do, but he's going to be around to be that support person as he is for everybody.
I agree.
Mm.
I agree.
So yeah, pregnancy trope. I'm not. I fucking am excited. If this is it,
I'm
I will
excited
be
if
so excited to read it. I'll be like, yes, give me the
I
backstory.
will
Like,
be very proud at our observation skills if we are right. It is a little unhinged, but I think there's potential for it. I really do.
I think anything's on the table with these books. Like, that's
Yeah.
what's the fun of it. It's like anything could happen, and like we're all probably going to be wrong, but it's
Yeah,
funny.
I know.
Like. Like what fucking like 4 months from now, I'll be like, I can't even remember what I said.
I don't even remember what I said.
I know there's been a lot of talk about the marriage snippets. We definitely think that there is going to be a Liz and Hugh elopement in 2006. Um, we don't think that it's going to be anything to do with like her mental health or him taking control of her care or anything like that. It's going to be like purely once they've like fully decided to be back together, they're committed. They've kind of like announced that to everybody. They're going to like run away um, get married for solely love. That could be my Delulu mind, but that's what I really think is going to happen.
I'm delusional too, don't
And
worry.
yeah. And then we have all of these snippets, obviously, that are like um we know the Ed Sheeran song, um, I don't know, just like more about their love, legless liabilities, and what does that say? Legal love fools.
Hopeful.
I think that's like, who did we ask about that? Legless
Chris.
liabilities
Yeah.
is like a little
Like
saying.
it's like when you're too drunk, you're like a legless liability. So like we were kind of like, is this like giving like, I don't know, Vegas vibes where you get really drunk and then you get married? Like, because I would like laugh so much at that if that's like how it
Yeah,
kind of
like,
goes down. Obviously they still love each other. Like that's it would be like hilarious because it's like what they've always wanted to do. But a legless liability is like described as someone who's like very, very drunk and like they're like
mhm,
stumbling around, so they're a legless liability. Like,
I also just
yeah.
think that like they don't need a wedding. Like I feel like if they did like elope and it was just the two of them, or even if it was just the two of them and like one other person or something small, like that's all they need. You know,
yeah,
like I feel like with Hugh and Liz, it's always just been like very like them focused. And like I feel like they'd want to keep that like kind of vibe going. Like I don't think they need like this big audience. I don't think they need like everyone there. Like I think they just need each other. And like
mm,
to me, it's a little bit romantic. Like but I'm also very biased because if I got married, I'd also want to elope. So I want that for them. But I think that they just, I don't know, it's just so like personal and just like this connection between the two of them. And to me, it's just like this beautiful moment between them. So that's kind of why I like it too.
mm. Yeah.
I
I
wish I would
kind of
have
like,
eloped.
yeah, like I kind of like the story that we have and like the plan that they have. I'm like, we all want that to happen. Like we want them to move away, get the fuck out of Ballylagan. Like we want
Yeah.
like her to go to Royce, finish up her last year. We want them to go to Trinity. They want to have kids, two kids before 30, like live in their shitty little apartment. Like that whole plan is like ingrained in my brain and I think about it
Yeah.
daily. And I'm like right now I feel terrible, but I'm like, don't worry, Hugh and Liz, they're fine right now. They got their kids. Like I think about it all the time and I'm like, it's
All the
currently
time.
they're okay. And like
They made it out of Ballylagan.
yeah.
We
Like
are
I just
okay.
need that. Like I know like and the thing is at the end of the day like Chloe's not going to give us like a wedding or anything like that. She might write a bonus scene down the track if she's feeling,
Yeah.
you know.
Like later,
Yeah, if she's
later on.
feeling like she wants to give us something, but
But
it would just
especially
be
because
nice.
we're gonna get like Joey and Aoife's wedding. So I feel like
Yeah.
if we just give everyone weddings, like it's just a lot of
There's a
weddings.
lot of
Like,
weddings,
you know,
yeah.
it
You
kind
know
of
what?
gets
I would
boring.
like love if Joey was the witness. Like I would
I
die.
would love that. I would,
Yeah.
that'd be kind of funny. I
I'd be
would
like,
really like that.
yes. But yeah, I just feel like I think like when we look at the timeline, we're always kind of like, well, you've got like 6 months until she's 18. She's 18 June like 9th, 2006. So like what's happening that we need to elope for, if it is for a medical reason or if it's for next of kin or anything like that, like what's happening in the 6 months? Like because like what we've said, we've kind of said that Hugh knows the truth. Like what's happening? Like what are we doing that would require some sort of, I guess, legal responsibility around, medical treatment or anything like that. Not to say that
And maybe
it
it's
obviously could
like
still happen, but yeah.
wishful thinking that kind of by like graduation and like grads, debs or whatever, that like hopefully all of the Mark stuff is wrapped up. He's been handled and like, or like
Closing that.
almost
Yeah.
handled, like it's at least the truth is out. Um, and then they like know everything. So it's
Yeah.
not like any secrets or
And we
I
know
don't
they
know.
all well, all the boys graduate in this time period. So like it's not like we can really go on that much further. Like we
Mm,
can't. Like we're
Right.
kind of like wrapping up the timeline. Like and we know like in that one playlist, like Lizzie's not on the graduation
graduation
playlist.
list. Yeah.
Where'd she go? Where did she go? It's also kind of like when you say it like that, Krystel, like when you were talking about how like they get out of Valley Lag and stuff like that, it's kind of like I don't know, like the fact that they want kids before they turn 30 and like the shitty little apartment. I just realized like how young they are still. Like I just
Mm,
like that, like it triggers something. I'm like, oh my God, they're not even 30 yet. Like that's so like they're so cute.
mm. Yeah.
Like
That's what I mean. We
they
want
still have their
that.
whole
Like,
life. They have their whole life ahead of
oh,
them.
but
And
teen
like,
marriage.
yes, the teen stuff sucked and the trauma sucked, but like they have so much time still to like recover and be together that like this is such like just like a little standstill in their relationship, but everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna work out. They love each other and it's just gonna be happy. I love that.
I just need
And
it.
they're just gonna have a
Love
quiet
it.
little life.
Yeah,
He's gonna be a doctor, she's gonna write her novels,
I
and
love
it's
it.
just gonna be like uneventful and calm.
Yep.
Love that.
That's all we're holding on to.
It's like the Taylor Swift song, uh, Wish List.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. 100%. It's all we want. Okay. This is my wish list. And then we go into sadness. Went from marriage to funeral. I did not put these slides together.
Sorry,
Ew.
I think it was me.
That was Brie.
I was like, I gotta hit it where it hurts.
Brie, you can talk about this then.
All right. So I think originally we all kind of were like fairly like we don't want Catherine to pass. And I still don't want her to, obviously, but like I can see why there is a theory that she is going to pass. I think people thought she might pass a little bit sooner than later. I think a little bit differently. I think if she is going to, it's going to be like once the Mark stuff's out, once everything's out. I posted like something on my TikTok about this actually the other day. But I think that with this playlist, Feely's playing Landslide. It says like C10, H7. I think this is to show you that it's going to be more so in that 2006 period. I think especially with the H7 because we know H7 is going to be like from wherever Taming 7 was and then moving forward, which is 2006. So in my head, she can't pass before 2006. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also think that with everything being out, maybe with all like the Mark stuff being solved, with everything just like kind of like we got justice for everyone. Let's just say the Mark stuff's done, Gibbs got his justice, Liz got her justice, whatever. Like I still feel like Kiva also needs that, and this could also be a way of not only honoring Catherine but also honoring Kiva because they would be playing Kiva's favorite song at Catherine's funeral. And it does make sense. I was trying to think of like someone else who could pass that this song would even make sense for. It's too specific. Like why play Kiva's favorite song for like a random person?
Mm.
And I'm like, and this playlist is still active. I looked it up yesterday. It is still active. So I
Mhm.
do think it's probably going to be Catherine, but I do think it's going to be later on in the timeline leading towards the closure of the books. And I think, like, while it will be sad, I also think it's going to be a little bit like Catherine finally got to see the justice for like both her daughters, and she finally is laid to rest and for peace, and she's able to like have a peaceful passing now that everything is like Lizzie's gonna be okay. Kiva got what she needed. Like Gibbs got what like I think it's just like finally like she can close her eyes and just be okay. Like she doesn't have to worry about all this stuff. She doesn't have to deal with any more chest pains. Like I think yes, death is really sad, but it can also be like healing in a way, especially when someone suffered so much. And we know she had a lot of medical issues going throughout the book. So she's probably tired of like going through like cancer is a very rough thing on your body, especially if you're going through treatment. So I can see it. I didn't want to see it. I tried to avoid it at all cost, but I do see it, especially because with that extra layer of like honoring Kiva, this song makes the most sense.
Mm. Yeah. I feel like I've always thought she was going to die, but not because of Mark, if that makes sense. Like, not, I think
Yeah,
the
yeah, no,
narrative out there was like she finds out about Mark, she has like a, a
yeah, no.
panic attack, chest pain again, and that causes her death. Because
Yeah, I disagree with that.
it's kind of like But why? Like, why would we build her up to be like the one parent that like loves like Liz
Yeah.
the whole time? Liz is scared of like her finding out because of that, and then it happens. Do you know, I'm like
Yeah. No,
how? Like, how
I was
can
on the
that
same.
happen? Um,
And then that just gives like Liz like so much more guilt too.
Exactly.
yeah, like
Like,
exactly. Like my thing was like, oh my God, look, how was Lizzie gonna feel about that? I
That's
mean,
why I'm like, it has to be after everything's solved. Like it has to be when there's like this
because like it
closure.
has to be, but I'm also like, but I mean, Chloe could still really just
It
like
is Chloe.
nah,
Yeah,
like
let's
it
just
is
toss it.
false.
I mean, if we think about the pain we're getting in 2005, it's got to ramp up in 2006. And I'm just kind of
Oh yeah.
thinking that,
Oh
like,
my
she could throw a curveball and actually, like, we've
God.
got that snippet of Hugh saying he's going to go live with Liz because Gibbs has people, Liz has no one. So to me, I'm like, why does she have no one? Like,
True.
like, is it because her mum's unwell and in the hospital? Yes, that happens all the
Yeah.
time. Or are we at the point of like, we do have nobody?
Yeah.
Like,
That's true too.
so like
I think it's my wish list.
I feel like we all just have to be like prepared for the worst. And we've said that throughout this. Like, you just have to be prepared for the worst, that if it's going to happen, like, it might just happen when we least expect it. Like, because she likes to do that.
She loves to like just throw you like a little plot twist, and you're just like, we
Yeah.
were just getting better. What
Yeah,
do
yeah,
you
yeah.
need? What do
Exactly.
you need?
I mean, it would be nice, obviously, if like the
Yes. I think
foreshadowing of
it's
her
that's where
like
I'm going.
dying at a time where, yeah, she's struggling with the cancer, she's had two heart attacks. Yeah, we can definitely see the foreshadowing of that. But like with that, again, that's a slow progression, so it makes more sense for it to be a slow progression decline and then she passes. So she goes into like end of life treatment, end of life care, rather than that's it. Like, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So like I can see it both ways. But
yeah.
I definitely agree it'll be 2006. Yeah, I just
I
like
just
to be
don't think it
prepared
will
for
be.
anything.
I really hope it's not because of Mark. I feel like that would just like
Yeah,
hurt me, and I know it will hurt Lizzie if it's hurting me.
I think like for
yeah, it's
Liz to
just
be
like
like
too
so
much.
scared the whole time that that's going to happen and then that happens, like
Yeah,
how much more can she deal with?
I feel like
Yeah,
that would be
okay,
like
so we've got
such like
like Mark coming back potentially twice. We have all this other trauma,
yeah.
like, and then her mom just
I hope
dies.
not. But I don't put anything against Chloe, but I hope not for my own sanity.
Yeah. I feel like these days I'm just like, do you know what, Krystel? Just prepare yourself that it's gonna happen, you know? So when you
For me,
read it, you're not like, well, fuck.
yeah. I feel like
I'm
for
gonna
me,
be
I'm like
reading it and be like, oh,
I'm like for me, I'm like think of the messiest thing that could possibly happen and just assume that's gonna happen.
Yeah. I feel like that's like our theories have like evolved
Yeah,
into that. It's like, you know what?
yeah.
It could happen. Like there's no doubt about it.
There's
Like
no doubt.
there's foreshadowing of that. So it's like anything that's foreshadowed is a coincidence, potentially could happen. But we just got to be prepared for the worst. And Catherine dying is the worst, I guess.
and so it's probably gonna happen.
So it's probably gonna happen. 2006. These are just some snippets we've put in here. Obviously, we haven't put all of them, but it kind of just gives you the general vibe of what we're walking into from January. I guess it technically would be January 6th when we're back at school, but obviously we have Liz and Hugh kind of reuniting over that Christmas New Year's Eve, and it looks like they're officially back together January 1st, 2006, hence the Everywhere Everything playlist. Moving into, I guess, the end of Taming Seven, so that last little bit, you've got like Claire Gibbs walking into the common room. Hugh obviously looks unwell. He's got his head against like the window, so he's clearly found out. He's clearly not coping well. Liz is in the like kitchen with Joey. Everyone's like happy Larry until obviously they come in and they've decided, okay, this is kind of the divide, and then they walk away. So like we definitely think obviously we're going to get Hugh's point of view of that. We've talked about this before in our previous videos. It's obviously the Great War 2.0, but Hugh's POV, and I cannot wait for that POV of him like being like, what the fuck do I do? Like, because like imagine like you've just found out all this shit, you've fallen apart over Christmas break, you're like freaking out, don't know what to do. Maybe he still hasn't got all the evidence. Maybe he's still like trying to figure out and like piece everything together. Like, but also like he's probably like, I want to say like hesitant to say stuff because Liz looks like she's doing a little bit better. So it's like you don't want to be like rehashing stuff when she's, you know, looks, I
Yeah.
mean, she's talking to Joey in the kitchen. Um, So like I feel like it's gonna be very challenging, and I think this is where we're gonna get a lot of that. I want to say like that claiming energy from Hugh, very much like standing up for her, like priority number one, no matter what, like fuck everyone, like really just speaking up um, for Liz. We think there's going to be like a pretty big divide where Liz is like isolated from the group. I mean, obviously there's shit that went down with the rugby team and Pierce, so they're going to be, doing their stupid rugby ass shit. Like, I don't even know how to explain that, but
Yeah.
bullying, stuff like that, calling her names, all that kind of stuff. And like, I feel like, it'd be whatever Pierce is spinning as well. Like, if Pierce is like said that wasn't true and like he's spinning that, like that could easily become like locker room talk, and like a bullying
Yeah, and Liz already
narrative.
has that reputation of like
Yeah,
no one's believed her. So like
it could be that. It could
Pierce is a
be,
saint for dating the crazy like Viper.
yeah, it could be
So who
that.
knows
It
what
could
narrative
be.
he's gonna spin.
Yeah. And then I guess like when we even get the Mark stuff coming out, like it's kind of like, well, they've already had this narrative of her lying about stuff. So like are they going to say the same thing? Like are they going to be like, well, same thing? Like I
Like the girl who cried wolf.
yeah, I just feel like it's just something that they do. Like, you know what I mean? Like if they've made up their mind. So I'll be really interested to see like how Johnny tackles that, being obviously captain, and the other boys. Like, I do think that Hugh is gonna like quit the rugby team and be like, "Fuck you all, see ya."
We already
Um,
have Damien being like the substitute 10. So like I feel like that's a little bit of foreshadowing that like
Mm.
why did he already take Hugh's number? Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I know he was like sick and out, but like that's a little
yeah,
strange to
it's
me.
weird. Like, he's a substitute for 10. Like,
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, and
yeah,
also like he only really joined rugby. Like he didn't, it's not like he loves rugby. Like
yeah,
it's not like he's like, I
He's
love this
Bama.
sport. I have such a great passion for it. I need to
No.
like,
do it for his dad. Yeah, like he
Yeah.
doesn't
yeah. And
care.
we clearly have the snippets of him and his dad having it out. And
Mm,
I also
so,
think he said like he likes like swimming more. Like
yeah,
I think he like
exactly.
talks about
yeah.
how he likes that way
Yeah.
more and he likes
So I feel
his he
like
likes
yeah, in the scheme of things, like Hugh and Liz versus, if we look at the versus Tommen, you've got the rugby team and then you've got their group of friends. So like the rugby team has to be involved somehow, I want to say, and they're a big part of the story. So I think there's going to be like like many situations we've got those snippets of like Hugh and Liz going against the rugby team, like the school net school, all that kind of
it
stuff.
also is a sports romance. So it makes
Yes.
sense for the rugby team to be
Yes.
involved.
We need the rugby back in. Yeah. So I think that's going to be the vibe, really. Like Hugh really trying to show Liz her worth, stand up for her, fight for her. I mean, we've got those snippets of him like walking up to her in the hallway, grabbing her hand, like, oh, I just need it.
I'm
Like,
here. You just like standing up to everyone and like
just
claiming
like I
their
just
side.
need fuck you, Huey. I just need like, nah,
I
fuck
just
you,
want
nah,
Johnny's
fuck you.
POV of it. I want
Yeah,
Johnny to be like,
yeah.
that's the girl. Like, you know what
He's
I
I
gonna
mean?
be
want you to
so
be like, wait,
confused.
what?
Hang on a
He's gonna be
second.
like,
Walks into school,
what?
grabs her hand, and oh,
I
that
want to be
snippet, I love that snippet so
like,
much.
give me a Johnny POV. I don't care if it's like a paragraph long. I just want him to be so confused. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Huh?
yeah. I'm
Wait.
interested to see the dynamic between Johnny and Hugh, though. Like, I think that'll be very, I mean, different of what we've seen of Johnny, and because we're not in Johnny's head, it'll be like what Hugh
Yeah.
perceives of Johnny, and I think that might be very
Yeah.
different to what we know of Johnny, given the
Yeah.
13s. Um, but yeah, and then I guess on the other side, we've got Gibbsy losing his shit because he's come back to school. Most likely everyone's heard about what happened at Winterball. Everyone knows he's shit, and it's not gonna be looking good. Like we've said this, like he's gonna be unraveling. He's like obviously flipping into his like a Gerard state. He doesn't have the mask anymore. He's probably gonna get in some fights. He's probably gonna kick off. He's probably gonna push Claire away, vice versa. Um, which is gonna be very sad to read. Like, yeah.
The first time Claire calls him Gibbsy, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna lose.
that like I can't believe we even have that snippet. Like I am
I
like
hate it.
I'm like what? Like yeah.
I'm gonna be
I just feel
sobbing.
like they're split is going to be so traumatic and like
Yeah, it's gonna
heartbreaking.
hurt so much. Oh,
And
I'm
he's going to
really,
be like spiraling. She's going to be like trying to
I
hold
don't know.
on, but then I think she's going to have this moment of being like,
I think it's
I
going to be
can't
really
do it
important.
for you. Like, you need to do it on your own type thing.
mm.
I think it's going to be really important for Claire for Gibbsy to also come out of his mask because I feel like Claire has also kind of taken on Gibbsy's mask at times because she's been with him so much. Like she hasn't like dealt with like her dad being like sad in the attic, you know, she hasn't dealt with even her own stuff. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see like once Gibbsy's mask is coming off, like what does that mean for Claire's mask too?
Mm.
Because she has taken kind of on his like it's not immaturity, but it's like this jokester, like nonchalant, like kind of attitude. Like I feel like she doesn't see anything as super serious.
Yeah.
Not intentionally. I think it's subconscious, but it's because she's been around him so much and he is that kind of way. So like you are who you surround yourself with. So
Mm.
I think that like it's gonna be really interesting to see like her kind of break out of her shell. But I'm also really scared to see her and Liz, to be honest.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that's kind of, I guess, the vibe of 2006. We will do a deeper, like, step out of 2006 and clean up the snippets. So we'll do more of like a step out in probably part four of this presentation. But this kind of gives you a rundown of what we're kind of feeling for the beginning of 2006, obviously leading up until Mark's downfall, which we know will happen. Which again, we've spoken a bit about, but we'll dive more into that in the next part. I guess to look at the future of bot, I mean, we have these snippets here. I just think there's lots of projects in the work. It's just a matter of when we get them. Um, we know we have 3 books until college years, adult years. So looking at the concepts there, it kind of makes sense for us to wrap up that Tommen timeline of the boys graduating prior to stepping into college years. Like we know that Feely and Katie are like I guess reference to being older and that second chance romance. So it makes sense for them to have college years books or a book. And then yeah, I guess it just depends on what happens with Aoife and Joey. We know that they're planned to have another book as well. And obviously ending off with Adoring 13 because we're gonna end how we began with Johnny and Shannon. Um, but
I
yeah,
also think like Feely's probably like a bit freaky.
yeah.
Like he clearly has like a drinking problem, maybe
hmm
drugs. So
hmm
like
I think
we need those to be like older themes.
Yeah. Like more
Chloe
So we
hasn't
can
had
sensitive.
like
the
really
yeah,
dive into
Chloe
them.
Chloe hasn't had the opportunity to write older like people, so I feel like by like giving like at least somebody an older book, it gives her this opportunity to expand on so much. Like she could write so much more because they're over 18. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah, so
I
give us
agree.
like a little backstory. Tell us how they met in music class and
Yeah, I would love it.
then give us the tea on
Then give
Feely.
us the tea. Oh, I'm excited for the Keely. Like, I'm just excited for
I
the
can't wait.
Keely crumbs. Like, I was thinking about it today and I was like, oh, there's going
Yeah,
to be crumb in this scene and there's going to be
I
crumb
can't wait.
here. And
I
it's like,
can't wait.
it'll be all the
I
Keely
was
crumb.
talking with someone in my DMs and she was like, I think Feely is like very weird. Like he's into some weird things. And I was like,
Freaky Feely, freaky farmer.
yeah. I'm like, I have the same vibes.
But yeah, so that is it for part 3, guys. We will come back with a part 4. We're going to step out 2006 a bit more and clean up our snippets, so that will be on soon. But yeah, thanks for watching. As always, these are just thoughts, these are just theories, they're just for fun. The snippets are not canon until we get them in a book in our hands. They just help us spiral and cope in between the slump that we are feeling. But yes.
And our thoughts always change.
And our
So
thoughts always change because we're only human. But that's the fun of it. Like, I love watching some of our videos back and be like, oh my God, how funny is that you said that?
or sometimes I'll watch them back and be like, wow, I was really onto something there.
Yeah, I
Like
was
I
like,
have to listen to what I said.
I forget things I say too. Like, people would be like, did you like that video? And I'm like, which one? Because I I like to post a lot on the
Talk.
internet.
Yeah, I like to say words and I don't tend to
I
stop.
don't know why people want to listen to me. Is it my accent? I don't know. Um, but yeah.
It
Anyways,
is.
thanks for watching or listening, guys. Make sure you've subscribed, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, whatnot. And if you want to join us doing a timeline reread, we are doing that shortly, like
Yeah,
soon.
soon.
Yeah. So we have got
Starting in December, yeah, right?
starting in
Yeah.
December. So let us know. We've got a form in our Instagram if you want to join us and reread with us. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.